Hi YouTube, today you join me in the garden because what I'm going to show you how to make is very garden related. One thing you very rarely see on model railways is flower pots. So I've come up with my own way to make them, and I'm going to show you how to too. So today I'm going to show you how to make big tubs like these using wooden dowels. Or you can use small cocktail sticks to make something a bit smaller like. So what are we going to need? Well, I have a wooden dowel here because I am showing you how to make the tubs, and on this pub I noticed it's also got tubs, so it's a good idea to have something scale around the place just so you know roughly how big to make it. So I have the pub here at the moment. You could also use an old pencil that you don't want, or just anything that's round really, that's about that diameter. You don't really want much bigger than that because it'll be ridiculously big then. You also want a knife or a modelling saw. If you're making it with a cocktail stick, you won't need a modelling saw because it's thin enough that you can just cut through it with the knife. You will need some grass along with some flowers, and this is just stuff that's come off of the grass mat when I've been cutting it, that I've collected up off the floor. As you can see, there's quite a few flowers in there, so I'll pick them out with a pair of tweezers, and we'll make some flowers to go on the top. You will also need some paper. You also need some paint. If you're making a wooden tub, I'd go for sort of brown. If you're making some clay, smaller pots, or plastic ones that are made to look like clay, I'd go for a darker, reddy kind of colour. And here is the finished product. There you go. This is one that hasn't got any flowers in it growing at the moment. So it's just green, and the grass is sticking up slightly. Oh, I've just dropped it. Okay, floor search over. I found it again. So yeah, this is a wooden tub like I showed you outside. The ones outside were actually plastic because the wooden ones tend to rot and my mum hates them. But here you go, there's a wooden tub that's not got anything growing in it yet. I will show you how to make one with flowers in it. So yeah, let's get going. So we're going to start by going about just about 0.25 centimeters down, or just over, and then I'm going to make a mark there, and you can use scissors if you want, just to mark that all the way around. So I'm going to put that on the end there. It's quite hard to do this in front of a camera. I'm just going to twist that round to make it mark. So I'm going to cut that off, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I've cut the end off of that. I went and used the modelling saw downstairs for that, just because if I used the knife I think I'd have been here all year. You really need something serrated and sharp. If you're using cocktail sticks, a knife will be fine though. What we're going to do now is, for the sides of the pot that come up, we're going to cut off a piece of paper. This is just over 1.25-ish like we did earlier, so then we're going to cut the thing about a third bigger, or wider even, than we need. So we're going to take some scissors and we're going to cut up there. That bit there is from one I did earlier, the one that I showed you at the start. Then it wants to be about 2.5–3 centimeters long, and then there you go. So that's the piece of paper. So usually you would wrap it round and then paint it, but I've already painted this on the piece of paper, which you can also do, but then you'll also have to paint it when it comes to doing the inside bit. So we're going to wrap this around here and glue it on, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so now we have the wooden dowel wrapped in a piece of paper. At one end they are both the same height, at the other end the dowel ends quite a long way down, it ends about here, and the paper continues upwards. So then we're going to trim that to about the right height for the sides. So then it will be only a few mil higher, and there you go. So now we have the sides that are just the right height, and the wooden bit in there. When you cut that, it doesn't have to be a clean cut at all, because we won't see that bit in a minute. That's going to be the soil basically, and we won't see that because we're going to put all sorts of vegetation on top of it. So I'm going to paint the top now, and if you want you can mix a bit of PVA into the paint. I'm using the same paint I did to do the sides, and I'm just going to dab that in there. So then even in the top we have brown paint, and I'm going to scrape some out using an old screwdriver that I don't want. So I'm just going to get that out of the way because I've put too much in there, it's literally swimming in it at the moment. Okay, so I've scraped that out, and now the paint's just starting to go tacky with the glue setting in it, and it's about 30 degrees in the sun today, so it's going to set quite quickly, so I have to do this quite quickly. I'm just going to sprinkle some of the grass on that I showed you earlier. You don't need to make this static, it can just sort of go anywhere. Okay, so there you go. That's the main structure and the greenery of the plant plots sorted. So now you can just do slight detailing. So the grass isn't static, but while it's still wet you can just prod it with a knife and it should sort of stand up a little bit. Obviously flowers don't really stand up that much, so you're only going to use short little strands for this. And then I'm going to indent these sides with the blunt side of the knife, just pushing in on them. That will make the wooden slats effect, and after that I will use the tweezers just to bring some of the flowers across and put them in like that. So there you go, there's one. So there's only one thing left to do. Put them on the layout, and there's 2 new plant pots for the pub garden. Hopefully soon they will cover all gardens across the layout, and it will be one of those extra pieces of detail that helps the layout become a model railway. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.